I'm here today to tell you that no cry sleep training is complete BS. And I'm so sorry that this is something that you are seeing all over the internet, that this is something that other sleep consultants are marketing and telling you is possible. Because the reality is, it simply does not exist. We talk to so many parents every single day who have avoided sleep training because they think it's harmful, or they believe that their babies will cry for hours on end, or they think it's going to harm their relationship with their baby. And that is simply not true. They've spent months, or in some cases, even years, rocking, feeding, and helping their child fall asleep in various ways. And they've been waiting for that magical, mystical version of sleep training that lets their baby or toddler fall asleep without any tears, because that is what they have been promised on the internet. So today I'm going to break down why no cry sleep training doesn't actually exist and why that's actually okay. The biggest problem with the phrase no cry sleep training isn't just that it creates unrealistic expectations. It's that it convinces really good parents that they are failing if their child cries. And that is not true. We've been working with families for over 11 years, and we've worked with over 5,000 families. And I can tell you right now, we always do our absolute best to limit crying as much as we possibly can. We are always focused on setting the child up for success from the very beginning so that tears are limited. But we will also never promise you that there will be zero tears, because that is unrealistic. Your job as the parent is not to prevent any single tear from falling. It is to lovingly support your child through this change, because that is all that it is, a change in the way that you're currently doing things, and one that leads to your child being able to fall asleep and back to sleep independently. So if you're here with me today, you are probably already a parent or you work in childcare. So you already understand babies and toddlers cry for all kinds of reasons. They cry because they're frustrated. They cry because they're disappointed. They cry because they can't get their shoes on by themselves. They cry because you took away something from them that they wanted, even if it was unsafe for them. They cry because you're changing their diaper. There are so many reasons that our babies and toddlers cry all day long in all different kinds of scenarios. Crying is simply a form of communication for our children, and it does not mean that they are being harmed or that they are hurt. It is not a measurement of whether something is safe or appropriate. It's simply communication. Now, babies and toddlers do cry specifically during sleep training, and I think that it's really important for us to break down why that actually happens. So to back it up a little bit, whenever we start working with a new family, we start by understanding everything about their specific situation. We want to know everything you tried before, exactly what you're doing now, how your child is falling asleep, how they're waking up, what their sleep schedule looks like on an average day, not a perfect day, an average day, what their feeding schedule looks like. We want to know your child's temperament and your parenting style. Then we start every single custom plan by setting your child up for success. Nothing at all will begin until that happens. This means that your child is fed, they're safe, they have a completely safe sleep environment, they're comfortable, they're wearing the right amount of clothing for the temperature, and their room is the right temperature. We make sure that their emotional needs are met, that you're spending quality time with them during the day, that they feel safe and comfortable in their room, and that they're spending more time in there before we start sleep training. And then, yes, we will teach independent sleep skills. We teach them how to fall asleep and how to fall back asleep on their own. And that comes with a change to their normal routine. Up until this point, they most likely have been fed to sleep, rocked to sleep, or held or laid down with until they fall asleep. That is the only way they currently know how to fall asleep. So naturally, they believe this is how they have to fall asleep because they literally don't know another way. So naturally, whenever we stop feeding them to sleep or rocking them to sleep, they're going to be upset. They don't know how to fall asleep without the thing that they've gotten used to. So yes, there will be tears, and those tears will be out of frustration and out of protest. They are protesting this change, and they're telling you, I don't like this. I want to go back to what we were doing before because that's what's comfortable. That's what feels normal to me. And that doesn't mean that the new way that we're doing things is wrong or harmful. It just means that it's frustrating, and it's okay to be frustrated. Our children are going to face a lot of frustrating situations as they grow. Just like us as adults, if we suddenly are told we can't do something the same way we've done it every single day, we're going to be frustrated and resistant to that change. We probably are not going to cry or scream about it, but our babies and toddlers express that same frustration the only way that they know how, which again is through crying. Now, before we keep going, if you want to work with somebody who can look at your entire situation, like I just broke down, and they can tell you exactly what needs to change, why it needs to change, how to change it, and be there to support you through the entire process, I want you to book a call with Rachel and my team. She has been doing this for over 11 years and she has worked with thousands of families, and she is an absolute rock star. The link is in the description below for you to find time with her. Okay, now back to it. One of the most important things that you can learn as a parent, not just in sleep training, but across all of parenting, is that we cannot confuse protest with trauma. Here's an analogy that I think every single parent is going to understand. So many babies hate the car seat. You put them in it, or they even get near it, and they start screaming like they are being harmed. This is incredibly common, but we also know that this is the safest place for our baby to be whenever they are in a moving car, safely strapped in, properly installed. So we don't take them out of the car seat just because they are crying. We know that's where they need to be. And yes, it's hard to hear them cry. It is so frustrating. I remember so clearly whenever my husband and I lived about 5 hours away from our family and we would travel home all the time. And our baby, who is now 10, was a newborn at the time. She would sometimes scream literally the entire drive. And I would approach it just like we do with sleep training. I would make sure that she was fed before we left, that she was comfortable, that she had everything she needed. We would stop midway through to feed her again, to change her diaper, all of those things. Yet still, she hated the car seat. So she would literally scream the entire time. And it was so hard to listen to. I hated literally every minute of it. But I knew she was safe. I knew that she wasn't going to be taken out of that car seat no matter how hard she screamed, because that was where she needed to be during a drive. Sleep training is no different. We are building independent sleep skills so that your child will have them for the rest of their life. There is so much evidence and science showing that children need long, uninterrupted sleep for proper brain development, to process their memories, to be happy, healthy, thriving kids. So when we change the way that they are falling asleep in order to teach them these independent sleep habits, we're not doing it because we're mean. We're doing it because you, as a parent, care about your child's well-being and want them to get the sleep that they need to thrive. We're not going to abandon the plan just because they protest and cry the first few nights. The other thing that's really important to understand here is that this is temporary. We are not talking about your child crying long term. In most cases, the children that we work with learn independent sleep habits and start sleeping longer stretches, sometimes sleeping all night long in just 2 or 3 nights. And then shortly after that, there are no tears at bedtime at all in most cases. They're happy to go to bed because that is their safe place. That is where they feel comfortable. It's where they know that they're going to get a great night of sleep. And in most cases, when babies cry whenever we first start sleep training or in the middle of the night when they wake up, it's actually because they want to be asleep. They're tired and they want nothing more than to fall to or back to sleep. They just don't know how to get there without the things that they've always relied on, like feeding or rocking or whatever else was happening before we started sleep training. So again, it's important to focus on the long-term goal, not the temporary discomfort. None of us enjoy hearing our children cry. It doesn't matter the reason. It naturally just grinds our gears. It makes us frustrated, irritated, sad, and it's hard to listen to. But this is a short-term situation that leads to long-term results for your child's overall well-being. The goal of sleep training was never 0 tears. The goal is simply helping your child learn how to sleep independently while feeling safe, loved, and supported. No cry sleep training doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. It's a marketing ploy and hype. And it's a way of telling you what you want to hear, even when the person saying it knows very clearly that it doesn't actually happen and that it's not possible. Crying does not equal harm. Boundaries and support can exist together, and your child is fully capable of learning new skills when given the right tools. So I want you to stop asking, how can I make sure my child never cries? And instead start asking, how can I better support my child through this change? Because that is where everything shifts for you. So again, if you are ready to work with somebody who will truly support you through the entire process, make sure your child is set up for success from the beginning and help minimize tears as much as possible while understanding that some tears are simply part of working with children. I would love to invite you to schedule a call with Rachel. Click the link in the description and she will schedule time to chat through your specific situation and see if it's a good fit to work together. If it is, she will share what working together looks like and how to move forward. And one more thing before you go. If you've been watching our videos and thinking, I wonder if I could do something like this for a living, or if you've just been thinking about starting a business, earning more income on the side, or even building a business that could eventually allow you to leave your 9 to 5, I want to invite you to explore sleep consulting as a business. You do not have to have it all figured out. We teach you literally everything from A to Z. Our students go from zero sleep knowledge in most cases to becoming a certified sleep expert, building a profitable business in as little as 90 days. We have a free Become a Sleep Consultant school community where you can see income breakdowns, graduate stories, and our free video series that breaks down exactly how our students go from zero to certified and paid in 90 days. The link is in the description, and we would love to have you there. So that is it for today. I would love for you to join our community, book a call with us. And if you want to keep learning, check out the next video, which is all about why your child still isn't sleeping better, even though you feel like you have tried literally everything. I have linked that in the description below as well. All right, we will see you here next time.